Honorable Feliciano Belmonte, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Congressman Kimbo, Chair of the Ways and Means Committee, Secretary Balizakan, Director General of NEDA, Mr. Van den Brick, Lead Economist of the World Bank, Mr. Paris, Representative of the IMF, honorable guests, good afternoon. I would first like to thank PES for inviting me to this annual meeting, which has the title, The Philippines as Developed Economy by 2050. Let me just start saying that this title could be a bit pessimistic. With high economic growth over the next 20 years, the Philippines could already reach developed economy status. What about the Philippines as a developed economy in 2035? Today, EU-Philippine economic relations are strong, and this can be illustrated with some figures. How this relationship can grow even stronger, and why an open public procurement policy play a role in attracting more FDI in the Philippines will be the subject of my remarks. The Philippine economy is growing stronger, more than doubling its size in the last decade to 205 billion euro. The recent visit of President Aquino to 4 EU member states showed a keen interest of our leaders to increase trade, predicting there is a lot more to come, and rightly so. The Philippines reduced its external debt to an all-time low, concluded a peace agreement in Mindanao, and has been upgraded by Standard & Poor's to above investment grade. The economy will grow 6 to 7% in the coming years. Only 2 weeks ago, the Philippines moved to ranking 95 out of 189 economies worldwide in the Ease of Doing Business report. This is up 53 positions since 2011, and a move from 8th in the ASEAN 2012 to number 5. I appreciate the country's ambition to become number 3 in ASEAN and the top third of the world by 2016. Remarkable growth in our trade can be noted during the first 6 months in 2014, where EU-Philippine trade increased by 21% to $7 billion. More importantly, this trade is in value-added products. The EU imports from the Philippines include electronic, appliance, optical and photographic instrument, and food. The EU supplies about 30% of total FDI to the Philippines, providing around 500,000 jobs. During the first quarter of 2014, EU FDI flows to the Philippines went up more than 150%. Likewise, Philippine investors have invested 1.4 billion euro in the EU, a positive contribution to our economy that varies from Andrew Tan's purchase of the 5th largest Scotch maker in the world, White & Mackay, to the Alliance Group expansion of microelectronic plants in the Czech Republic. One area which could play an important role in further increasing our economic relation is public procurement. We heard the speaker talking about the PPP, so it is a very relevant topic. While global markets are becoming more and more integrated, procurement markets are still lagging behind in this process. Around the world, governments have started to understand the importance of government procurement and the benefit that could come from undertaking procurement reforms. But why is public procurement important, and what are the benefits that an open public procurement policy? First of all, in most countries, the public sector remains the far biggest buyer in the economy. In economic terms, public procurement makes up a significant proportion of national economy, 10 to 25%. In the EU, it corresponds to 19% of GDP, or some 2.4 trillion euro, while this globally amounts to 6 trillion billion euro. In terms of benefit, a major gain from an open public procurement system is what we refer as a better value for money, or the ability for the authority to successfully acquire goods services, and work on the best possible terms. Studies in the EU have shown that an open public procurement policy can save up to 30% of taxpayers' money. A second main benefit of an open procurement system is that it can be used as an instrument to fight corruption. Studies have shown that corruption can increase costs by up to 25 to 50%. By curbing corruption in public procurement, authorities can achieve value for money in their acquisition. Thus, competitive bidding and transparency are fundamental tools for addressing corruption as well as achieve value for money. How can this benefit be achieved? The most important principle of regulatory system of public procurement are: first, transparency; second, competition; and third, equal treatment and non-discrimination. A transparent tendering process ensures that information about the procurement regime and individual procurement opportunities are made available to all interested parties. Transparency is instrumental to ensure a fair competition among tenderers, thus gathering an equitable access to public contracts. It also helps to increase accountability in how public authorities spend tax money and thus, ultimately, to improve anti-corruption policies and governance, one of the key priorities of the current administration. Secondly, competition through competitive tendering ensures a level playing field, offering all competitors equal chances and access to the same information. This also creates incentive for companies to become more competitive and to look for opportunity in other markets. Finally, equal treatment encourages companies to have confidence in the process and thus encourages the best firms to participate in the procedures. Another important aspect of the public procurement regulatory system is the rules applicable to public-private partnership and the opportunity that can be created through cooperation between the authority and the private investor. The principles of transparency and non-discrimination are also fundamental for this project, and a regulatory system that enables all interested economic operators to participate on a fair and transparent basis enhances the quality of such project, cutting their costs by means of increased competition. Tendering of public-private partnership projects have provoked a lot of discussion in the media here in the Philippines, notably surrounding the large infrastructure projects such as the Cavite-Laguna Express, Canax, or public-private partnership project on LRT1 extension project. European companies have shown interest in these projects, and the Philippines could benefit a lot from ensuring that the principle of transparency and equal treatment are applied in those standards so that the best quality could be ensured at the lowest cost. The Philippines has an ambitious infrastructure agenda, aiming to double infrastructure spending from some 2% of GDP currently to 5% of GDP by 2016. This represents about 10 billion euro. In addition, the Aquino administration has awarded 8 public PPP worth 128 billion pesos, or about 2 billion euro, since 2010, the highest number and amount recorded since 92. Another 6 projects worth 190 billion pesos, or 3 billion euro, are ongoing. I'm looking forward seeing European companies delivering a constructive and competitive company's contribution to this project, especially following the encouragement of President Aquino during his visit in Europe last September, seeking European companies to come and invest in the Philippines. The EU wants to deliver on that. So what can the Philippines do to facilitate this? First, the Philippines is making progress in terms of attracting FDI. Inward FDI stock increased from 10 billion in 2004 to 25 billion in 2013, and flows increased 6-fold. Central bank figures that came out this week shows that 59% increase of the first 8 months in 2014 compared to those in 2013, totaling already $4.3 billion, 4 times the official target for the whole year. According to my sources, most of the investment stock in the Philippines have its origin in the EU, but admittedly, this is only a fraction of over the 200 billion euro the EU is investing in around the world. The Philippines can get a much bigger share of this, and here are some pointers. First, by joining the government procurement agreement as an observer. The government procurement agreement is a sub-body of the World Trade Organization. The government can show its engagement towards transparency, non-discrimination, and international competition, and benchmark its own policy against international ones. Second, by improving the legal framework for foreign bidders, by allowing foreign companies to bid at a more equal footing. A procurement market open to foreign bidders is a key asset to significantly upgrade the level of competition and ensure better value for money. Third, Secretary Simpson's ambition and the Government Public Procurement Board resolution to fully liberalize foreign bids for infrastructure projects above 1 billion pesos is welcomed, and it would be useful to understand how this would work in practice. In addition, bringing down that threshold would probably benefit the government even more, allowing more competition also for smaller projects. In addition, the government could facilitate companies by implementing the so-called apostille convention. This would do away with the sometimes burdensome requirement for legalizing documents. It's an easy facilitating measure that works both ways, and I'm happy with the commitment we have received towards this goal last June. My wish is that more European companies will find their way to the Philippines to contribute to help create jobs and added value to your economy. Besides building quality infrastructure, open public procurement also helps to save Filipino taxpayers' money. Thank you.